Hello and welcome back to exciting new things in my Godot journey. I am finally back with another video, guys. There's a few hints on the screen about what's to come. Let's jump right into it. What are the new things that we've added? I've got it from top to bottom, left to right, of what I'm most excited about and what I'm least excited about. First is unlocks. I thought this was going to take ages and it took no time at all, actually. I've now made it so the mechanics of the player are unlocked step by step. So there's an NPC that we'll be introducing into the game called Bookie, or, you know, we don't have a name for him yet, but he's a book. And we speak to him, and his pages have been torn out by the main nemesis, the big baddie, and they've been sort of scattered along the kingdom. And every time that we find one of these pages, we unlock a mechanic. So we touched on it a little bit. The second thing we've been added is the new NPC, which is the book. Really fun to make, actually. The character isn't how I want him to look yet. It's still a placeholder like most things in the game, but he is pretty cool, and I can't wait to show you guys him. Then we've added some ladders, which took me a lot longer than I really thought it was going to be. It took me like 8 hours to implement ladders into the game. And we've got some lighting and some new art as well, which we'll explore momentarily. But first, it's Godot trivia time. So, our question for the day, a bit of an ambiguous one. There is a few answers to this, but what is one way that you might be able to make shadows in your game, considering I was just saying about lighting? It is light occluders, something that I learned about literally like 3 days ago. Really useful. They are exactly what they say on the tin. They occlude light. So if you have a light source, you need the light to stop somewhere to make it seem realistic. So you add the shadows in where the light cannot reach. And that's it. Light occluders. So without any further ado, let's jump right in, guys. So here we are. We are back once again in the world. And it looks a little different than last time. We've added some bookcases, we've changed the background, we've changed the tiles. You've got a little hint of the lighting up there in the top here, and in the basement here. I haven't added too much of them yet, I'm just exploring it still. The cobwebs here, courtesy of my fiancée Julie, so thank Julie in the comments for the cobwebs, please. And yeah, here we go. So here's our friendly book. It's press F to talk. I have actually integrated controllers into it now as well, which I haven't mentioned in the updates. So I'm going to press B on my controller, and his little dialogue will pop up. That's not optimized yet, but it has his narrative at least on the screen now, and we'll change that later and how that looks later. And it's a bit of story. The wizard has been captured by that skeleton and ripped my pages out. That crafty skeleton must have known my magical pages were too powerful to leave lying around. You won't get very far without being able to jump. Luckily, I think that page got torn out accidentally a few weeks ago in the basement. I hope it's still there. Was that torn? Torn out. Torn out, I think. Be careful down there. The wizard has been practicing some strange magic, and half the floor is either floating or missing entirely. If you fall down one of those holes, you might never get back out. So, something that's new. Right now we can't jump. I'm pressing the jump button, nothing's happening. So, that light's a bit weird. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, we have some form of lighting. But yeah, right now I can't jump. So the first puzzle that we've now got in the game is dodging in a way that you don't fall into these holes. So because you fall into these holes, you can't jump out. You've got to go up and then try again. Some are harder than others. I've played this a lot to test it, so it's not very challenging for me. Hopefully it's slightly challenging for someone that hasn't played the game before. And then here's a new example of our lighting as well. I really love these lanterns. It's not perfect, but it's quite good. I quite like it at the moment. It does need some finicking with, but I love the aesthetic of it right now. And there we go, our first page. You obtained the jump ability. Press space to jump, or A if you're using a controller. And there's our checkpoint. Oh. I'm not a master of the game yet. All of these level design stuff, like I've said before, most of it is placeholder stuff to test the mechanics. I am having a bit of fun with it and adding more to the level just for my own amusement and enjoyment. None of this is necessarily going to be in the final game. It's more just to test what I can do and what works and what doesn't work, and then I'll be making a more concrete level design a little bit later on. But right now it's mainly about mechanics and whatnot. And here's a little bit of extra lighting. I like this one as well. This one's quite nice. It falls nicely on the inside of the castle. So we've got rid of our shooty slime that used to be on the roof here. And we've made it so... One thing that I think that was a little bit wrong was... The game should start off easy and introduce a mechanic like a moving platform in a harmless environment, which it didn't do before. It was quite a harmful environment when you had leapt straight into it before. So harmless environment, doesn't matter if you fall down that platform. And then we add a little bit more difficult platform, but with a slime underneath if we fall down. We're introducing the slimes into the game as well, and that we're going to learn that they cause damage to us over a bit of time and experience. And then we've got it progressing slightly harder. The moving platforms move differently, and there's more slimes in the area when you do fall down and make that mistake. A bit more agility stuff, a bit of testing on people's platforming skills, and then one of the final sort of trials with the moving platforms. They are later on in the game, but it's just that increase of difficulty that I wanted to introduce. I was looking up a couple of game design and level design tips, and they all seem to say very similar things of start it off easy, introduce something, make it more difficult, add a twist to it. And that's what I've been trying to do with this game now, adding the slimes, making it more difficult, adding the moving platforms and making them harder as you progress rather than starting off very hard or starting off easy and not changing the difficulty level. And hopefully I've implemented that a little bit later on. We've moved our shooting slime guys away to over here. And this is the first introduction of them where they shouldn't really hurt you. And then further development of them where they fire too. And then I don't really like this part of the level because it's a lot of standing and waiting a little bit later on. Not so much in this part, but in one of the next parts. And it's a bit of skill jumping over the shooty slimes. This is the part that I don't like, because sometimes, I'll show you now what I need to fix. Sometimes the platform is just gone, and it's quite slow moving and quite far away, so you might get to this point as the player and think, okay, what now? I have no idea what to do, and we're just kind of sat here twiddling our thumbs, going, okay, so is that it? You know, but it's not, you know, it's not it. It's just too slow. So I definitely need to change that. But that's all I've got so far. As you can see, the background wall has ended. I haven't put the art up to this stage, but that's it. That's all I've got to show you guys. That's the changes. That's what I've added. Let me know what you guys think. The spin attack is still implemented for now. It will be one of the things that you can earn as a page, the same way as the glide. I've turned that off. There is no glide at the moment. I'm holding down the spacebar, but nothing's happening. That will be an unlockable page as well. And hopefully I'll make it so there will be areas that are inaccessible that will become accessible from getting the abilities later on. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So here's a bit of the background stuff. So right now what I want to implement is, there's a place here where there's a jump that you cannot make the jump. You jump, jump, try and jump, and then you can't reach that, but the platform is visible. So you might try it a few times and then be like, oh, that's impossible, and then drop down here, and then find our shooting guys after. And that will be like one of the places that you don't have the glide ability yet, but you'll go along, you'll float through, kill the enemies, etc., etc., get the glide function, and then come back here. Not a huge amount of backtracking. Maybe it will just be a bonus area where people can get collectibles, which I plan on implementing at some point, collectibles. Or maybe it'll be the right path, the actual path to go. I'm not decided about that. Maybe leave a comment of what you guys think about the new mechanics, how the game's developing, what you'd like to see. I'd love to hear some feedback from any of you guys about what you think of the changes. Yeah. And just to finish up quickly, guys, you'll probably remember, or maybe you don't, from the first video, I had a little bar graph of skills I had at the start of my project with programming, design, and audio, and I've decided to award myself a brilliant amount of points in programming and a tiny touch on design. I still haven't done really any audio for the game yet, which I'm now realizing is probably something that I should start trying to do at some stage. But for now, yeah, a small change between before and now. I am most happy with the changes in programming. The coding is starting to slowly make sense to me, and I'm really happy for that. And the design element I am working on, I'm just not really there yet. I was never an artist, so I need to practice that more. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. Leave a like if you really enjoyed the video. Leave a comment with helpful suggestions, tips maybe if you're a game developer, or if you're a gamer that's liking the look of the platform or what you want to see in the game. This is your chance. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this one. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.